Today, TFNN, educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. We're going to talk a little bit about volatility today, folks. And I wanted to put up the Dow Jones chart. You can see this was as of last night. And through the middle of the night, and I believe we went up and hit that exact point D up there so far, maybe go a little higher, maybe a lot higher. I also posted a chart up of the NASDAQ. That was long before we hit the 61% retracement, and then we had a huge break, folks. We broke over 110 points in the NASDAQ, and then, of course, we're coming back. But they're hitting these numbers, quite nicely. I was just listening to Basil, and he was saying, this volatility is pretty exciting, but it's got to continue, and it probably will. But we'll have to wait and see. Now, today's a little bit of a frustrating day. I want to spend just a time to cover just something that several people have asked me. We had several orders in today, folks. The first one I want to cover is the Treasury bonds. I wanted to get this up here and show you this. We had an order put in early this morning. It's too late now because the market has moved $1,000 and went way above the 158 level. It missed our buy point by 4 pips on this one. We missed the one on the euro by 6 pips. So this has been a frustrating day sitting here, looking at these things. So unfortunately, that's what we're watching here to pay attention to. So let's just keep in mind that sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. Now, the $64 question that someone's asked me is the question that we have here in the euro. Here's the order that we were looking at in the euro. We've been following this for several days, as you know, but we're now down to the exact 382 retracement. That number comes in at 97.80, and we put an order in to buy it at 97.80. I believe, to buy it at 97.86. The low was 98.87. We missed it by 1 pip, and now it's rallied a little bit. Whether it gets there or not, I don't know. But the question is, if you look at the hourly chart on the euro, it's got a really nice ABCD pattern that measures to 119.50. So that's a difference between 80 and 50 is 30 pips, $300. So that's a considerable amount when you're trading foreign exchange. So the question is, which do you decide to take? Do you take the ABCD pattern or do you take the numbers? Well, Mr. Isaac Newton said, mathematics precedes geometry. And he was a pretty smart dude, so I'll go with what he said. So I go with the Fibonacci numbers the best. So I'm going to stick with that 382. We may or may not get there today. I don't know. I'm leaving that order in. The order in the bonds for me is canceled because it moved so far away from it. There's nothing you could do about that. But that's the main thing to keep in mind, that mathematics precedes geometry. And, you're going to be close to these. You can't be perfect, so don't expect it to be perfect. That's not going to be happening. Now, I want to talk just a little about order flow in here because someone brought it to my attention this morning. I want you to see what happened today in the gold market. Now, you'll notice here the gold made a low the other day at 1769.30. 1769.20. The low today was 1769.30. And look what happened. We went from 1768, and this is just a 15-minute chart, but in a matter of a half an hour, we rallied $17 and we're back up above 1874 again, I believe. So when you see what an iceberg order is, when you're doing your platform and you'll see the bid and offers, there's a lot of bids, a lot of offers. There are large orders that can be hidden out there. In other words, they can literally pull them if they want to, but they literally sit there. And if that order is sitting there, it's a very large order. That's what causes something like that. So you've got to be very, very careful when you're doing these, because you could see at the high high that we made way back at 1799.5. There were iceberg orders setting up in there, so you've got to be aware of those. When we were in the pits, the pits, you could easily see it because the guy had to have his hands out, and he had to be taking everything or selling everything. You could see that, but you can't see that on a computer. So remember, when you're watching that, you got to be able to pay close attention to it. Yes, today is Cinco de Mayo, and it is not Mexican independence. I urge you, if you have an interest in history, just Google Cinco de Mayo, and you'll see that it was over one battle by Zapata, I believe is who it was, and Benito Juarez. I think it was Juarez, yeah. After Juarez, Mexico. Anyway, that's let's get back to something else. Anyway, that's a big day here in Tucson, Arizona. It's not as big as St. Patrick's Day in Chicago when they dye the Chicago River green. Now, they don't do anything like that because you can't dye sand here because we don't have any water in our rivers. Arch Crawford was kind. By the way, we're going to have Tim Boss as our guest here at the break. I've had 4 requests to have him on this week. He's scheduled to come in 2 weeks, but I asked him to come a little bit early. He's been so spot on in these things, including the cryptos, that we were going to have him on as a guest today. Now, Arch has sent this chart from his letter, and that is the one on the VIX. The fact that we're at a very low level, folks, and we haven't been here in a very, very long time. Remember, back in the 2015, that VIX index, when the market was falling apart, we got it all the way up to 84, and now it's where it is now is down at 18. Remember, it used to stay around 9 or 10 for several years, and that's when we first started talking about, you're going to have great volatility. So, buy a little volatility index, and, it'll give you some good profits, and it certainly has done that. It's still double what it usually is. At 18 is still, twice as high as it usually ran between 9 and 10. So those are a few of the things. Now, I had another request to take a look at the Russell. I wanted to bring that up here and show you here. This is the same thing that happened. This was the Russell over the last few days. You'll see we made a perfect A, B, C, D Gartley down there, just spot on to the exact 61% retracement. We then rallied up to the 382. This was up through overnight, and then we hit that number, and then we went all the way back down and tested that bottom again, and then came right back. So when Basil's saying that this market could really take off, he's absolutely right. It could certainly do that. Whether it does or not, I don't know, but it certainly can do it. You got to respect it. That's the main thing of what you're paying attention to, because it's very, very important to understand what your direction of the market is. You don't want to risk very much. That's absolutely sure. Now, I wanted to talk just a little bit here about the double top that we put in the newsletter on this week. You'll notice here that was Friday. You can see Monday and Tuesday's action. We had the big drop off. We're probably having a little snapback rally today, but that is a double top in the Amazon. It went from 35.50 all the way down to 32.50, dropped 300 points, which is roughly 10% in a matter of a few days. So that certainly is a double top. Now, these things can be destroyed and go back above them, and it's going to be incredibly bullish. And, Robin Hood and all his friends will probably come in and start buying. But, that's what we're watching right here. We're keeping a very close eye on that as we're looking at it. It's pretty. Yeah, it was Zapata, Zaragos, who was the name of the guy that did it. Juanito Juarez was somebody else. Hey, we'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the opening call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave. Sign up for the opening call risk-free today.
If you're not currently using the Taz Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The Taz Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, Taz understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the Taz Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the Taz Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today.
Hey there, I'm Andy Arbertine with Tiger Precious Metals and Stones. Whether you're looking to buy and sell precious metals or trying to find the perfect diamond ring, I'm here to help. I have over 15 years of experience with diamonds and precious metals. You can call me directly at 727-329-8245, and I will personally answer any questions you have and help you find exactly what you're looking for. I will be your personal concierge in the metal and stone business. Give me a call today, 727-329-8245.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, I've been putting off this segment for a long time, but several people have asked me, and I got 2 more requests today for it, so I'm going to run through what I know about astrology. And the questions were, why don't you use more of it? And the answer is, I don't understand it very much. But the one thing I do understand is I understand price action. I know what risk control is, so I can do that okay. The problem is that we're dealing with something here that is really, really mystical, I guess would be the word. But I've had so many instances that have shown me that, oh my God, there's something here that really must mean something, that it must be there, but I have never found it. I found little tiny bits and pieces of it, super full moon type stuff, but to find the overall picture, I don't know if there is a Holy Grail. In fact, I quit looking for it many, many years ago, and I don't really worry about it, but I was walking, this whole thing started long before I was with Dr. Miller in '86 when I wrote the book. Well, actually, she helped write the book. What was Astro Cycles: A Trader's Viewpoint? And all I did was take the patterns and line them up with the dates, and it worked pretty good, and that was good. But it all started back in '83 when I was in Chicago. I went to a psychic fair with Byron, and we were walking through this. There was 400 or 500 people there, and this woman came up to me and she says, "Please let me read your chart." She said, "I won't even charge you." And I says, "I don't know what that means." And she says, "When were you born?" And she wanted all that stuff. She said, "Come back in 10 minutes." So I came back in 10 minutes, and she started talking to me. And my goodness, this woman knew more about me, and she didn't even know my name. And, she really laid it out. And I have a couple others that were just absolutely mind-boggling to me, how people did it. But the most amazing one was in '87. No, it was, it was 88 after the book had come out. The American Federation of Astrologers had selected as one of the 3 books of the year, which was a big deal. They were having a big convention in Las Vegas. There were like 7,000 or 8,000 people there. And Commander David Williams was living in Scottsdale. He was the one who wrote the Astro book on astro trading. And he said, you really have to come here and present this book. And so I went to Las Vegas, and nobody knew me other than Arch, and I had just met Arch. I mean, I knew who he was and everything, but I'd never met him before. He was there, and so he was living in New York at the time, and so we chatted, went to dinner a few times and stuff. But I was standing in the hallway, and another lady came up, and she was from Africa, and she said, I have to read your chart. She said, you have an aura around you. I said, oh, brother. So I just gave her my date of my birth and stuff like this. So I go into the hall to listen to a lecture, and they've got this natal chart up there, okay, and it's got the natal chart, and I'm looking at it. Hey, I said, that's July 28th. I said, that's my birthday. And they were talking about me, and I didn't even know it until I started to, they wouldn't tell you who it was, but I realized it was me they were talking about. And everybody was saying, wow, this guy's going to really do okay in this kind of business. Whatever it was, I don't remember. But anyway, those are just a few of the things. And the things they said about, my children and how long I would live and, where I would travel and who I would speak to. I mean, I don't know how they knew all that stuff, and I really don't. Tim Boss is going to be our guest. He happens to be one of the experts in this stuff. Bill Meridian is another one that is very, very good at it. He and Victoria Martin did my chart, back in when I was in Chicago back in 82 and 83. He told me pretty much the same thing, but I thought it was so far-fetched at the time, I didn't pay any attention to it. Okay, the second question that someone has is they want to start trading full-time, and they've been doing very well. This was from 2 people, separate parts of the world, and I told them to do this. I said, and this is what I told Tom Hugard 20-some years ago. Tom was really reluctant because he had a great job making about $24,000 a month, and he was he didn't want to give that up, but then he was forced to give it up because the company was sold out. So the company was nice enough to give him a nice a parachute package, so that gave him enough confidence to start trading, and he never looked back. And I told the folks, if you can get a 4-week vacation from your regular job and trade full time for 4 weeks and be really focused on what you're doing, not starting with more than $50,000, not risking more than $1,500 a day, and follow the patterns, I said you will be okay. When I first started to do this live was back in, I was working for Eli Lilly, and here again, I had a very cushy job. I was making $100,000 a year back in the mid 70s, when that was a lot of money in the early 70s. So here I come into October of 1975, and I want to do this full time. So I sat down with the Wicked Witch of the West, and she said, if you can make enough money to supply us for 1 year, she said, you should do it. And she asked me, I said, okay, what's that figure that we need to run the house? And she said, $60,000. And I said, okay. I wrote her a check for $60,000, and I said, all right, let's see what happens. And I got lucky and never looked back. But anyway, if you just take the pressure off, this is like paper trading if you really play it right, because it's just numbers, folks. It's nothing really really that dramatic. So anyway, those are just a few of the things that you've got to do. You've got to decide that you want to do it, and you got to do it right. And if you run mistakes, you got to get someone that's going to help you, to get you through it. But you can do it if you'll be able to do that. And I am not. I'm not too much of a scalper. I'm a short-term pattern recognition swing trader. I use 15-minute and 30-minute charts because those give me the ones that, look the easiest to do, and those are the ones that I try to line up, and that's really what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to predict something that's going to go out 2 years. Well, nobody can do that anyway, but I mean, even past a few days, you're pretty much suspect. So all I'm doing is focusing on the amount of risk that I have to deal with. I'm trading markets that are really active. There's foreign exchange markets and stuff, and they line up what you're looking at. Those things that I posted today, that's exactly what I'm doing. I didn't get my fills today. Yesterday we did. Yesterday was a good day, but today we missed the bonds. That was $1,000. The euro missed that one, and we had another one in the Well, the one other one worked pretty good, but I can't remember what it was. Crude oil. But anyway, those are just some of the things that I'm watching. But all of it's based on numbers. And getting back to what Einstein said, it's mathematics before geometry. And what's his name? Bryce Gilmore was saying that to me even before we talked about that thing about not Isaac Newton, but Einstein. So he was also into the numbers, because numbers, they're numbers of sacred geometry. They're called sacred not because they're holy, but because they work so perfectly. And that's why we're looking. Look at those numbers that I posted there for the Dow Jones, the S&P, and the Russell. I mean, all of them hit perfect numbers. I mean, give me a break. I mean, you can't do that without being lucky, I guess, part of the time or whatever. Okay, that's really what you're looking at. We're going to have Tim Boss as our guest here. He's going to have some good stuff for us as always, and we will be. I won't be here on Friday. I've got a physical. I got my semi-annual physical coming in on Friday. So tomorrow we're guest free unless I can get. I'm trying to get Alfie Lavoie on, but we'll definitely have Tim Boss here at the break. So we'll be right back.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den trading room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I believe we have Tim Boss, Financial Cycles Weekly, on the line.
You do indeed. How are you today, Larry?
Talk about hitting a lottery ticket. Boy, thank you for being our guest today. Hey, I had 4 requests. That's only happened a couple times in the 14 years I've been doing this show, so I really appreciate you coming back on so soon. But you had everything so spot on the last time that the people will ask you to what you're seeing in the future here. But before we get started, Tim, I had 2 questions by emails last night, and I tried my best to describe what it was about, but I didn't do it very good. And basically, it was about reading a person's chart. You know, why some people are able to do that. I've had my chart read by Vicki Martin and also, Bill Meridian and 2 or 3 other people. They all, independently different parts of the world, and all of them said exactly the same thing. How does that work?
Well, your natal chart, your birth chart, is a reflection of the exact time of day, date of birth, and location of your birth. And that's what makes you totally unique. So it's a configuration. It's interesting. You have 2 people born on the same day, but in different parts of the world or different times of the day, you end up with 2 different astrological horoscope charts for those individuals. So a trained astrologer then has a methodology for looking at the diagram of that chart that represents in 2 dimensions what was going on in the sky in 3 dimensions when you were born. And then there are certain rules for interpreting all that. And that's the art of astrology. It takes a lot of time to learn all those processes and things and to make all the connections. But then the job of the astrologer is to synthesize all that so that they can describe for you what the most important points are and help you make sense of yourself. So it's something we all need.
Well, how do they know that, like you have, I had gunshot wounds. And how do they know that it was going to be something really traumatic on that day? I mean, 2 different people in different parts of the country told me from my chart that on that day, October of that day of that year, that something really dangerous or, bad was going to happen. And I happened to be in a robbery, and I happened to got shot. I wasn't, it wasn't killed, believe it or not. No, but it wasn't life-threatening or anything like that. Luckily, it was a small caliber bullet, but it was, it was rather traumatic. I just don't understand how 2 people could do that from so far away to find the same thing. And that's my question.
Essentially, what we're doing is, as I just described, the chart makes you unique. So we're looking at you as an individual, and what we're looking at is a snapshot in time with the moment that you were born, and that gives us our understanding of who you are. But then we can compare that with the planetary positions at any other date throughout your lifetime. So a good astrologer then can kind of scan things ahead and say, okay, these things are lining up at particular times, and lo and behold, we've got this configuration of planets coming up, next week or 2 years from now, or whenever it is, and that has a potential then for impacting you in a very, very strong way. Now, the nature of the impact will depend on the planets involved, and typically with, gunshots or things of that sort, we're looking at Mars, something happening with Mars to amplify that in a particular way. We can look at that and say, okay, this is kind of a hot spot with the Mars cycle. What's that doing to impact your personal chart? And if it coincides then with certain elements in your personal chart, we say, okay, this is an opportunity for you to personally be in danger or fall in love or whatever the circumstances may be.
Yeah. Well, the Reagans, Nancy and Ronald Reagan were very big into astrology. What was it? Was it Jeannie Dixon? Was that their astrologer?
Joan Quigley was Nancy's
Joan Quigley.
astrologer.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. I remember now. Yeah.
She was, she passed on a few years ago, and I never met her in person. We had a few phone conversations. I was doing a good bit of research into international astrology, and she had a number of international clients, at governmental levels that she was trying to figure out things for. We were taking a look at when India and Pakistan were both developing new missiles. I had information on that she was interested in getting. So they're very, very well-respected astrologers, and the press made a lot of fun about it, that Nancy was following astrology, but
Well, I being a Catholic, we were told to stay away. It was an instrument of the devil, to stay away from the astrology part. When I went to 88, I went to the Vatican to visit one of my teachers. She was now in charge of part of the Vatican Library, and she said the bottom 3 floors of that Vatican Library are nothing but astrology. She said we can't even get down there; it's so rare. But she said there's all kinds of stuff that's there.
If you look back at Catholic history, there are actually several popes who were astrologers themselves, and so it would kind of go it would go in and out of favor during the various centuries. And when you walk through the Vatican, I did a tour of the Vatican a couple decades ago, and it was great because there's all kinds of astrological symbolism built into the Vatican. Yes. So you'll be walking through a corridor, and there's an inlaid motif on the floor of the zodiac or something like that. And so, how did this stuff get here? It's interesting.
That is good. Okay, tell us what you got about the market. I appreciate all the feedback here, but this is over my pay grade. But I know you do a great job of that, and you do that type of work too, don't you, Tim?
Absolutely. I work with individual clients, and it's interesting, specifically in looking at that individual natal chart. It can really be valuable for a trader to have that done, because you can begin to identify what are some of the tendencies that you have as a trader. Some of us tend to take too big risk or plungers in the markets, and others are too conservative and get into analysis paralysis and kind of freeze up and don't pull the trigger with trades. That will show up in the astrological chart, and when we look at it together, we can develop strategies for you to enhance your trading performance based on your unique astrological configurations. So that's a special service, but glad to talk with people about doing that and getting that kind of thing set up if anybody's interested. Anyway, that's part of what we do here.
That's very good. Okay, first chart we're looking at here is the Pluto Retrograde in the S&P from 1997 to 2019. What are you showing here, Tim?
Well, this is just some historical examples of Pluto retrogrades. Actually, we shared this series of 4 charts on your show about a month ago, back on April 9th when we got together, because we were looking ahead at that point to the Pluto retrograde station that was coming up on April 27th. And so we wanted to kind of get a glimpse of what can happen. Now, when Pluto goes retrograde, it does that once a year, and it doesn't always signal a decline in the markets. Sometimes it'll go up, sometimes it'll be sideways, sometimes it'll go down. But these are 4 examples of times when the Pluto retrograde station indicated a trading top, and we saw a price decline after that. So I thought it's interesting to take a look at these simply because it shows you the different kind of chart patterns. Over the upper right there, 2002, we had a very extended downward move after that, a little bit shorter in the lower left corner there at 2016. And notice with 2016, we're seeing something very similar right now, because the Pluto station came in and the market continued to go up for a couple of days before beginning its decline.
Wow. Stay with us, Tim. We've got to pay a few bills. We have Tim Boss, Financial Cycles Weekly. Very interesting subject matter, folks.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Okay, Tim, the next chart is you're looking at a potential for a decline in the market here of these events that we've looked at. So how did you come up with just the 50%? Was that just a Fibonacci number, or what was it that got you to that level?
Fibonacci retracement from that low back in early March. Short-term span there to the high that we had on April the 29th. And so with that, what's interesting to us is that we've also projected on here some 16th harmonic Pluto price lines. Because we're looking at a Pluto station, I thought I would add those geocentric price lines for the planet Pluto, which are those widely spaced blue horizontal lines across the chart there. And what we're seeing here is there's a Pluto line midway down that has defined previous resistance for the S&P, and that's hitting exactly on that 50% retracement move based on that Fibonacci projection from early March to late April. So even though it's a short-term Fibonacci range, what's significant is that we get the confirmation of the planetary factor with the Fibonacci retracement. So it gives us a higher level of confidence that we can be looking for that to be a potential pullback point for the S&P. Now, we had originally taken a look at all of this back in early April, around the 9th, 10th of April, and had done our projection based on that Pluto retrograde station that would occur on April 27th. We had projected at that point a price for the S&P at around 41.20. It traded that day at 41.80, so we were not exact on that, but it was close enough. And, of course, we were anticipating that marking a trading top. That did not come in on that day specifically. In fact, the market went up another couple of days, then began to sell off, and we got some strong confirmation then with the trading day yesterday with the S&P. That's our most recent price bar there for the daily bars, and we had a gap downward. It broke through that Pluto line and then closed right on the Pluto line. So it's still trying to define that as some resistance at that point in terms of the move. But we believe that this is the beginning of a downward trend based on what we've seen in the past with some of these Pluto retrograde actions on the market.
Very good. That's good. We have two requests well, I guess we'll give you your contact information at the end of the show because they asked how do they contact you if they want to have their charts done. So I'll put that information up next. But the next chart is the one that rattled everybody's cage. And that is
we want to look at
Bitcoin,
the one, do we?
Yeah, well, it's in the news all the time. But this is the one on Bitcoin, and they were just absolutely. People say, how in the heck does he know that it was supposed to do exactly that? And I think it's amazing the fact that it hit those numbers. I mean, just look at, even on this pullback that we're looking at today, it's right at that same red line again. I mean, it's really quite amazing.
Exactly, yeah. And it's very interesting because as we work with this, we're discovering that there's a very strong planetary resonance with the Bitcoin trading prices. Of course, this chart looks a little funky because it's daily price bars, and Bitcoin trades so rapidly with such big swings every day that we can kind of get caught up in the forest for the trees kind of situation there, because we'll see major swings in the course of a single trading day. And, it's not unusual to see 1,000-point move up in the morning, 1,000-point move down in the afternoon. And okay,
no kidding.
So it is a wild and crazy market, I guess is the best way to describe it. But what we've discovered here is that the planetary price lines for Mars help define some of the trends, but even more importantly, as we look here at the Chronos price lines, which are those horizontal purple lines on the chart, those define very, very clearly key levels of support and resistance for Bitcoin there. So we have that Chronos resistance line at the top at around 64,000. It has traded almost to that level, but backed off from that. On the downside, we have subsequent support lines kicking in at about 50,700. It recently dropped just below 50,000 and popped right back up above that within hours, actually. And so that proves to be a solid support level, as does the 55,000 range there. So currently, what we're working with is that support at 55,000. I checked the price earlier today. A couple hours ago, was it trading at 56,877.94. And the idea here is that we, having seen this consistent behavior, we can use these support and resistance lines based on the Trans-Neptunian Chronos to calibrate potential swing trades with this cryptocurrency. So if we see a pullback to this level of 55,000 and starts to find some support there with that, if that becomes evident, then we're in a position for a swing trade to the upside with our target at 59,700. So, for those who want to trade it actively, I think this is becoming a more and more useful tool to begin to calibrate some of those moves. Now, my personal position and what interests me much more is long-term holding, with Bitcoin and its potential as a transactional vehicle rather than just as a speculative dynamic like this. But this is how we're providing some guidance and what's keeping our attention. And this has been going on for several months now, so we keep testing this model and it keeps working. So it's not necessarily definitive, but it's fun so far.
Well, it's certainly been fun to watch it, that's for sure. Now, we have another question from one of our listeners. Do you do other cryptos like Ethereum or some of the others that are out there? Cardano?
I personally have small positions in a few other cryptos, but in terms of the in-depth astrological analysis, I don't get much into that for one very simple reason. Bitcoin has been around the longest, and we have a trading history that we can backtest. And that's one of the things that I've really put a lot of credit in is the ability to go back and look at the trading history of whether we're looking at a crypto or an individual equity, a fund, whatever it may be. If there's a history that we can go back and say, now, what happened the last time that we had this kind of planetary phenomenon occurring? It's like we were talking earlier about your gunshot experience, right? The same kind of thing can happen to a stock or to a cryptocurrency. We can see in advance, okay, this kind of stuff is going to happen, is likely to have an impact, but the question is, what happened the last time this occurred? And so that's what would be interesting to me as an astrologer, to get the date of that gunshot experience and then see what happened if there were previous occurrences of the same planetary phenomena. Maybe when you're 4 years old, you stubbed your toe. I don't know. So it could be a correlation.
You know, it's funny. I'll tell the folks when my first gunshot, I was in Beverly Hills, and it was a drive-by shooting, and I happened to be picking up some cougar ants to deliver because we sold a lot of them at Drexel Burnham, and I made like $25 a coin back in those days, and that was a lot when cougar ants were like $2.40 or something like that. And so I was delivering some coins to someone in Century City, and kids came by and they fired through the coin show, and I hit a flesh wound in my side, but paramedics saved my life. Hey, thanks for joining us, buddy. Tell us stay with us. We want to know how we reach you. Stay with us till the break.
I'll hang on. Sure.
All right.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the Opening Call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave! Sign up for the Opening Call risk-free today.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based, vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Hi, folks. This is Steve Rhodes. Stay tuned for another great hour of the Trader's Edge, heard here at TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks. We're chatting with Tim Bost. And Tim, tell the folks how they can reach you, email or the best way.
My email is tim@timbost.com. I was trying to scribble that in with the writing device on this. I don't know if that shows up or not. But anyway, if you can read that chicken scratch, it's timbost.com. That's my direct personal email. If you want to connect about a chart session or something of that sort, send me an inquiry there and we can get connected. But we also have a special webpage set up to sign up for all of our special programs, our free webinars, etc. That's at bit.ly/ Tim Larry P. It's capital T, capital L, capital P. Everything else is lowercase. Go to bit.ly/Tim Larry P. And that's special access for listeners to the program here today. And that will get you on our list to get notifications every time we're doing good stuff like free webinars and things of that sort. And so we'll keep an eye on that as well. If you sign up for that today, I'll try to reach out to you to find out if you're interested in that chart consultation service that we do have available.
Hey, listen, thanks for joining us, my friend, and I really appreciate it. We'll have you on May the 25th. We have you.
It's on my calendar. We'll make that happen.
Thanks for joining us,
Tim. Larry. Thanks so much.
Financial Cycles Weekly. The second time I was shot, I was in Las Vegas in an elevator, and some young people tried to rob the people in the elevator, and I happened to be, I was standing in the way of someone. It was a small caliber 22, and it flesh wound in my arm, and didn't do any damage at all. And, of course, using all of my skills of martial arts, I was able to apprehend the 5 robbers and have them tied up by the time the police reached the floor when the elevator came down. If you believe any of that, well, the shooting part was right, but I didn't do any martial arts. My hands were up. I surrendered. Hey, we'll see you all tomorrow, folks.